Studying abroad can be a paradoxical experience, exciting yet scary. How do you know that this is the right choice for you? How do you pick the right course, the right country? And how do you navigate all of this by yourself? So here's a little stress buster video to help you fix your checklists and get you closer to your dream university so that you can live your dream life that you have been dreaming of since way before. Hello and namaste, my name is Nidhi Nagori and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is about studying abroad and I'm going to give you some very practical tips. Trust me, these are extremely practical. I just want you to do your mental math before jumping on to the dream bandwagon that everybody around you is chasing. I just want you to be able to take an informed decision, which is why I'm making this video. If you see my videos, I also talk a lot about working abroad as well, or staying financially afloat, financially independent, all of that. Now, all of that combined also comes together as a package when you're considering studying abroad. So in today's video, I'm going to give you 5 points that you should be thinking about right now if you're planning to study abroad. Alrighty then, no wasting time. Let's get started with our number 1 pointer. And number 1 is, what's the fee structure and what's the ROI? So I'm from finance. For me, almost everything that I do in my life is about ROI. Now, this ROI may not be in terms of numbers, especially when it comes to my personal life, but in a lot of places, it is also about the numbers. So when you're looking at different countries and different universities, make sure you also look at what is the fee structure like and what is your return on investment. For example, many UK master courses last a year, while Canadian masters or PG diploma last for 2 years. Both of them give similar amount of work permit, which is 2 years to 3 years. Also, when it comes to dependent benefits, these two countries offer similar rights. So if you have a dependent and you're moving to UK or Canada to study, your dependent can move with you and can apply for a work permit and work for any employer. So just in terms of pure numbers, you could be doing a master's in UK, get a work permit for 2 years, move with your dependent can start working from day one. Similarly, if you move to Canada and want a similar amount of work permit, you have to study for at least 2 years. The benefits for your dependents don't change. So for someone just looking at numbers in terms of the investment that they are putting in, the UK ROI may turn out to be better. So what's the catch here? The fact that Canada has a very straightforward pathway to PR, especially if you've been an international student. UK doesn't have that. UK is a little bit more stressful and time consuming. That's the only catch. But in just ROI terms, UK might be better for someone, especially if they're not looking at something long term, and Canada might be better for somebody who's looking at long term. So you need to do this country-wise math yourself and see what is the fee structure like and what's your return on investment. And that's my point number 1. Point number 2, what are your long-term plans? Now, by long-term plans, I don't mean that you decide your entire life out, but have a plan for at least the next 5 years. I know the pandemic has changed a lot in our mindsets and how we think about time and how we think about plans, but it is important to know what are your basic medium-term or long-term plans. Why? Because this will directly impact your ROI. So suppose you're looking at a long-term solution between multiple countries. In that case, Canada turns out to be a more favorable option because a lot of programs here like AIPP or a lot of provinces here offer a direct pathway for international students to apply for PR. And that's not something that UK offers. Similarly, Australia is also opening up and making it more and more easy for international students to get permanent status in the country. And most importantly, language is also not a hassle in any of these countries because they are primarily English-speaking countries. So depending on what your priorities are and where do you see yourself in the next 5 years. Just to give you a very short example of where I saw myself. So I obviously am not tied to Canada or any country for that matter. I wanted to have a lot of flexibility. And I know a permanent status in Canada or maybe a Canadian passport could give me that flexibility, because if you have any of these passports like British, Australian, Canadian, it's just easier in terms of getting more global opportunities. Visa sponsorships are much easier. You don't need them in most countries, etc. So I wanted to have that flexibility where I can be in India wherever I want, but I can also access a lot of other global opportunities. And on that front, Canada always made more sense to me than other countries. So figure out your own priorities and put all these countries in tabular form and assess them individually. My tip number 3 is, how much are you willing to invest? Not just in terms of money, but also in terms of time. So suppose a lot of people look for cheaper education options, and for that, European countries turn out to be the best. But as most of us know, many of them have language barriers, meaning some level of local language is required. You may not necessarily require that to complete your degree or get a job, but just in terms of social integration, it is highly recommended that you know the local language. So for example, if you're trying to move to Germany, there's absolutely no reason why you should stay away from learning German. In fact, you should start investing your time right now in learning German. Similarly, if you want to move to France, you should start putting in some time to learn French right now, or any other European country for that matter. So what I like about European countries is that their education is generally less expensive compared to Australia, Canada, Ireland, UK, etc. But there's also a lot of time investment in the sense that you have to know the local language. Even if it's for social integration, you have to know it. And I'm not sure if a lot of people are up for it. So again, do your math there. How much of an investment in terms of time and money are you willing to put? Once you've gone through all of these 3 pointers, I'm pretty sure you've narrowed down the country that you want to move to. Now, once you've done that, how do you then go on to find the university and the course? And on that note, we come to our point number 4, which is flushing the odd one out. So once you've decided what country you eventually want to move to, then start looking at the universities and look at what courses interest you. Keep in mind that you don't necessarily have to pursue what you're already pursuing back in your home country. So if you're somebody who's from a finance background but wants to try tech or digital marketing, please make sure that you're also looking up courses that suit your current interest. What I like about the courses in the West, and something that India is also inculcating soon, is the option of doing majors and minors. And so you want to make sure that you're looking at what is it that you want to major in, what is it that you minor in, and that can also give you more options in terms of what is it that you want to pursue. You don't have to stick to one option. So after you fix your country, figure out what is it that you really want to pursue. There could be multiple options that you really want to pursue, and start looking up courses and universities that are relevant. Once you found out which universities offer the courses that you're interested in, look at the detailed course structure. Read through the detailed course structure. I'll give you my example. I really wanted to do an MBA in finance for very long in my life. And I started looking at 2 programs by Rotman and Schulich in Toronto here itself in Canada. And I was very, very serious about it. After reading through the MBA finance curriculum, I actually decided to drop it and moved on to operations and logistics, because when I read that course structure, I was like, oh, this looks very interesting. Definitely something where I would learn a lot, and definitely something that I would totally be up for. So just keep in mind that you could start on a certain path and you might not end up closing that loop. In fact, that might lead you to something else, just like my pursuit for MBA finance led me to maybe doing an MBA in operations and logistics. So keep your mind open and make sure that whatever course you want to pursue or whatever you're thinking of right now, please make sure you're doing a very detailed research, read through of the course content itself. See if it's the right fit for you. Also make sure that you always check the extras that are offered by the university. Most of these universities have an international student portal. You want to make sure you go there, read up, see what is it they offer. Also make sure that you check their alumni success rating. You want to make sure that alumni from those colleges are respected, so that you can not only build up on the alumni name, but also network with the alumni of the college or university in itself. And the last 2 things that you should totally read about is the faculty expertise. So make sure that you're reading through who is the professor who's going to teach you these courses, what is their expertise like, how many years have they been in education, do they have global experiences, etc. And what's the university ranking, where does it really feature on the QS list or any of these reputed lists. This part, especially university ranking, becomes particularly important now that many countries like UK, UAE are opening up to graduates from top universities in the world. So you want to make sure that you know what the ranking is, because that could also impact your pathway to move to different countries. Once all of this is streamlined and you've narrowed down not just the country, the course, the university, everything, you can now start your application process. Isn't this the most exciting part? And since we're talking about application process, you'll be amazed to know that there is one exam that you can write, and that can make your application process smooth in multiple countries. That's right, that's just by taking that one step, and that is writing your TOEFL. You see, English is a global language and more of a global requirement. If you are considering applying in universities in, say, countries like the US, the UK, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, etc., I highly recommend that you get your English proficiency test and scores out of the way first. This will help you apply to multiple universities at a very short notice. And for that, TOEFL is here to help you with a seamless and hassle-free test-taking journey right from the comfort of your own house. And I'm super excited to be collaborating with them on today's video, and I'm going to list out some of their amazing benefits right now. Number 1, like I mentioned, you can take the test from the comfort of your house, which is amazing. No commute, no putting in time, trying to reach somewhere on time. You can do all of this from the comfort of your house in your pajamas. And trust me, there's no feeling like writing exams in your pajamas, because I've done that. Number 2, this course score is valid in various countries, meaning one test, just one exam can go a very long way for you. And number 3, this score is valid for visa acceptance. So what are you waiting for? Register now for a smooth test-taking journey. Be a part of the TOEFL tribe and strike this one off your checklist. And since you are my lovely audience, you can avail a $20 discount code, which is up on the screen flashing right now. And I'll also add all the details about TOEFL in the description box below, so don't forget to check it out. On that note, this video has come to an end. I hope that these practical tips will help you assess your situation well and will help you as you prep for your journey abroad. Please let me know in the comments below, how is it that you're strategizing your next move? If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button down below, subscribe to the channel. Also, make sure you share this video with a friend and register for TOEFL right now without wasting any further time. Go do it. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, make sure you take care of yourself. Stay safe. Namaste.